Hey, welcome back for another installment on some Unity assets, and we're looking at the assets that are in the October 2021 mega bundles. But even if you're watching this after the mega bundle sale is over, we're going to be taking a look at some assets that you might be interested in down the road. So the ones we're going to be looking at in this are the terrain grid system, easy decal, and the monkey productivity commands. So I've already taken a look at these a little bit because they're a little bit more complex than the ones we looked at last time. And yeah, so I looked at them a little bit just to see what they're doing and what they do. And so far, they all seem pretty cool. So if we go into, we're going to look at the terrain one first, terrain grid system. There's a lot of demos in this one, and you can just read the description on this. It's targeting for people who want to have a grid-based demos. There we go. Okay. Here's demo scenes. The whole purpose of this asset is for somebody who's making a game and you want to have a grid on a mesh, and it makes it easy for you to select points in the grid. And for example, like a turn-based strategy game, when you want to click on your units to send them different places, that's what this tool does. So let's take a look at one of the demo scenes for the terrain grid system, and it seems to be pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to go ahead and get out of 2D mode over here, and we'll spin around just to look at it that way. If we hit play, we'll take a look at this demo scene here. And what we'll see is several different just balls fall from the sky. And I can click at different points in the grid system and the ball will travel there. So we got to wait for a ball to come down. There we go. All right, there's a couple different balls. If I click here, they should start moving to this point. And I think they are. And I can click over here. And then you can see the ones that are stopped bouncing are starting to move that way as well. All right, and so if let's take a look at the scene view because it's a bit easier to see what's going on over here. Let's turn on lighting. Great. And oh shoot, wish I had my mouse plugged in because I'm apparently at slow zoom mode. And let's take a look at the terrain itself. So here is the terrain, and here's the terrain collider. Here's the terrain trigger, and there's the grid system underneath it. All right, so here's the terrain grid system, and we can choose how many different territories that we want. And if we zoom it up, you can see they get more and more distinguished. And if we want, we can also make the topology if we want it hexagonal. Okay, you can see it's much prettier looking over here now in the game view. All right, and the territories are the darker lines. You can understand kind of what that is. So if like you have a world map and you want it to segment the different areas of the map, you can totally do that. And of course, there's box mode as well. And then you can adjust how much of each of these. It's very customizable. So let's take a look and see how hard it is to do our own mesh. Okay, so here we're in an empty scene. So what if I just come in here and create a 3D object, and let's just do a sphere. All right, hit F to focus in on it. Oh, that did not do that. Click over here in the scene view, highlight the item, F to focus in. All right, so we got our sphere here. All right, so now one would assume I can come over here to add component and do terrain grid system, right? Sorry that my camera keeps moving around because I'm using my laptop's built-in camera. All right, so there we have the terrain grid system. All right, let's see what options we have here. Height map size. I'm not quite sure what that does for us, but have to read the documentation. Let's make our topology though hexagonal just because that looks pretty. All right, what we got going on here? We need to put a camera here. Let's go main camera, and let's go game object, move. Let's just do align to view. Cool. And then let's take, actually, let's move in a little closer here. Yeah, not too bad. Interesting though, that the hexagons on the side are kind of stretched out. So I'm thinking there's a way to adjust that. All right, so I went back and watched some videos because I was sworn I saw them do this on a sphere, but apparently you can't. So you can project it onto any 3D object, but it doesn't look like you can actually put it all the way around the sphere. You can see how it's kind of projecting and detecting like the normals and where it should be. So yeah, you can't cover an entire sphere with the grids. All right, so I think in conclusion, this is still really cool for if you're wanting a normal type terrain. If you're looking to be able to move all around a spherical object or completely around a 3D object, it does not feel like that would work for us. Like we could probably even see it more drastically if we drop a cube in here and then try adding the terrain grid system. I mean, there you can see it. It's only going to project onto the top. So there you go. But it's still very cool because if you have like an actual terrain with an irregular surface, as long as it's all, looking up, as long as all the normals are, in world y-axis, it's going to be fine. And for most games, it's all you need. So this is a really cool asset for a quick grid system. And it makes it seem to be real easy to pick a grid and something to happen. So
let's take a look at Easy Decal. This looks pretty neat. Let's take a look at Easy Decal. Easy Decal looks pretty neat. $30, not a bad price. And I haven't spent a lot of time looking at this, but in a nutshell, it just looks like it allows you to put decals on 3D objects. So this would work well for graffiti, bullet holes, art, customized skins and stuff like that. So let's see what we can do with this. All right, I was just looking at their documentation, and I feel like it seems easy enough. So we're gonna come over here, and I'm gonna create an empty game object, and I'm gonna add the component decal, easy decal script, I believe. Okay, and the next step was create a material. So I'm just gonna come over here, and I'm going to create a material. And choose your favorite shader, and I'm going to come back here into assets, and I'm just going to put this crazy image right there. Very cool. And what was the next step? The next step was to assign the material to the material slot in the Easy Decal interface. So let's go here to new decal. And there's a material. I don't know what I created the material as. Looks like I accidentally stuck it in the UMA folder, I think. Yep, there's new material. So there's new decal. New material, come up here to decal material. New material. So where's my decal at? So here's my decal. And I feel like I should just be able to like stick it on something. Oh, there I am right there. It's pointed down for some reason. Okay. So if I want to come in, I need to adjust my material a bit. Probably my texture. I need to adjust my texture. So let's make it 2D and UI. No. Go back to default, and alpha's transparency, apply. There it is. So new decal, my new material. Why does it still have the black around it? Shouldn't be anymore. All right, here's my new decal. So if I move it up, nothing happens. All right, I sorted it out. This is pretty cool. So what I needed to do is I needed to choose one of on the new decal. I needed to change the shader. So it has my material. Oh, wow. Running low on battery. It has my material shader in there, and I needed to switch to Easy Decal shader. And then I just found one that worked pretty well. And then I went back into my texture and changed my alpha source to input alpha texture, and now it looks good. So here's my decal. So I imagine if I click on, not on that, because my decal is like way up here, right? Like that's my decal. So I wonder, let me look at one of the other ones, orientations. So they're still projecting on the wall in the z-axis, it looks like. So how do I know which direction it's projecting onto? Oh, I have globals on. That's why. Yeah, there we go. So we have Z up. See, Z's up there too. It's projecting there. Oh, that's the wrong one though. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. I had my gizmo frozen the wrong way. All right, so let's do my new decal here, and let's rotate it on the x-axis. Look at that guy. And is it just me, or is the shader they use make it be impacted by the lighting a bit? So there you have it. There's my mug. So they make it pretty easy. Also, if you look at, it allows you to set up atlases too. So like if I click on this guy, they actually have an atlas set up. And if you don't know what an atlas is, it's it's just an image, but it's like you would use for sprites. Like if you didn't know this, there's like a sprite atlas. So you have like one PNG file that has like all the animations for your character, and so that can be a sprite atlas. What they have is they have a bunch of different graffiti art on one image, so it just counts as one object loading. So if you want to put a bunch of graffiti in your game or have a bunch of different decals in your game, you can put it all in one PNG, separate it into a sprite atlas, and then you can use the sprite atlas. That's pretty handy. So like if I wanted to click on this one here, I could easily just change the graffiti to this guy, and that's pretty dang cool. Let's go look at the I wonder what they say this is good for. Because, I mean, first thing you think about is just using it for graffiti in your game. But what are some other things you could use it for? I wonder if, 30 bucks. I mean, again, I got this as part of the mega deal. 30 bucks is a pretty cool asset. So, like, what if I took this dude, what if I moved it away? So it doesn't get, the size doesn't change. So that would work pretty good for like damage marks. You know, like if you're shooting a gun, it'd be pretty good for projecting damage marks. And so here's the distance. So I'm at 0.01. There's a lot of vertices and faces. I don't know if that means if that's adding that many faces by projecting this on there. I'm imagining yes. But let's bust him out a bit more to where he's there. And then if we do distance, what does distance mean? Oh, he's down there. So I'm not sure I understand. Now it's projecting behind itself. Well, that doesn't make any sense. There's no collider over there. Oh, it's the distance from the surface that it's detecting. So that's why it was at 0.01. Because, I mean, if we zoom in, we could probably see that it's not quite touching the surface. I mean, 0.01, though, is so tiny. Like, if we make this 0.1, you know, that's much more obvious. Like, now it's, like, way out here somewhere. Yeah. So that's cool. But how can you tell... How can you decide how far away it will project? Setting constraint, max distance. So you could make that as part of, I guess, when you're shooting bullets. I don't know that would be any easier than just saying, get the raycast hit point and project something there. But I don't know. It's like if I could move this guy back to where he's not projecting anymore, and then I could put the distance. And I don't know what fade out means. But there's a lot of stuff you can do in here. And I don't know what the angle does. I haven't really noticed what the angle does. But this is a pretty cool asset. Cool way to put graffiti on items. Maybe there's other use cases, but pretty cool. I love that this came in the Mega Pack. I'll definitely play with this. Now, the last thing I want to look at is a tool. Now, there's all sorts of assets out there for like designing first-person shooter games, endless runners, where it basically like has a game in it and you just put your own art. And that's tough because you have to kind of like relearn the whole system and how it works and communicates. But I am a big fan of things that are going to make my life easier in Unity. Like think of something like Pro Builder. Pro Builder basically lets you bring Blender into Unity without having a second application. That's pretty cool. And so this is monkey productivity commands. We're gonna look at next, and this is a pretty intense looking tool. Another one of those tools I feel like, I mean, the Mega Bundle, you get the whole thing for like $45. Monkey is one that's totally worth that. So let's take a look at some of the things Monkey can do. All right, so I got the Monkey Commander installed here. I'm gonna go to Tools, Monkey Commander, and when you install it, it has a big pop-up like this. So let's just take a look at the top 10 commands. Oh, it's got a getting, it takes you to the getting started guide. So command list. Well, where's the top 10 that you promised me? One of the ones that I saw in the video I thought was so cool. So I think the monkey key, if I remember right, is the tilde. There we go. That I love. A nice quick key that Unity's not already using. All right, so to use this, let's create a 3D object. And let's just put a terrain just so that we have something big to work with. And let's just put the main camera, I don't know, let's just line the camera with the view for now. And let's get a cube. Again, this is going to be a pretty demo. Let's make our cube black. And let's make our cube also tall. All right. So I'm going to go to, I got this cube. And I'm going to go tilde. And I'm going to search pointer. Duplicate under mouse. So this duplicates the selected objects randomly under the raycasted position of the mouse. So objects to instantiate, it already knows that it's this cube. You can also add other items to it. But yeah, let's see. I don't know how to get this thing to work, but let's try it. So here we go. So I imagine that's its pivot point. It looks like it is. So, and what it did is pretty clever. So it's using, oh no, it's not using the terrain tool. Yeah, it's on a terrain, but it's not using the terrain tool. This is pretty cool. So it's keeping its pivot point right on the mesh. And I wonder, so right now I'm just clicking and it's picking the point and spawning. So that's pretty cool. What was another thing I saw in the tutorial video that's really cool? I love that they have everything organized here. Assets. Create a new scriptable object. It's pretty cool. New prefab variants, new folders, replace a material. Attach a new material. What can you do in my hierarchy? Expand all children, collapse all. That's cool. This is a powerful, powerful, powerful tool. It's a duplicate that'll duplicate selected objects by default 5 times. You can choose how many duplicates you want. So let's say we want 5. And if we look at our hierarchy, it duplicated 5 just like that. Look at the mouse. Makes the selected objects look at the mouse until confirmed. That's pretty cool. Press escape or enter to execute constrain look at mouse. So if I press escape, look at them. Oh my goodness, that is so dang cool. If I press escape, now they're done looking. That is just mind-blowing. All right, there's so much in this. If you're watching this and the mega sale is no longer going on, go check out Monkey Productivity Commands. $40. Could be the best $40 you've ever spent. I can't wait to dive deep into this asset and see everything it has to offer. Before I forget, if you like any of these assets, I'll put an affiliate links to where you can support the channel. If the mega sale is still going on, I'll have the mega sale affiliate link in the description. Otherwise, if the mega sale is over, I'll just have each of these individual assets that I'm reviewing in this episode mentioned down below. So if you're interested in getting the link, you can support the channel just by clicking that affiliate link and clicking through it. Or you can always check out my Patreon, patreon.com/PhilipHurlitz, and buy me a cup of coffee. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll look at 3 more assets. Thanks a lot for tuning in. See you later.